Welcome DMs and Dungeon Divers. Today we're going to talk about the Unearthed Arcana 2020 Feats. They put out 16 feats for playtest. We're going to review those. Since there's 16, I'm going to do 8 on this video, and in part 2 I'll do another 8. So come on in, have a seat. I'm Jimmy Lee, and this is Ability Check. Roll it. Hello, Mr. Odin. Why are you laying in the kitchen like that, huh? And Zeus, you're manspreading again. Dude. Alright. Remember, D&D is a game that's put out by Wizards of the Coast. And also remember, if you like this, hit subscribe, like, and hit that bell so you don't miss anything that I'm going to bring to you. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to get into this, and I have the list of it right here. I had it printed out after I went to it. You can find these actually at the Wizards of the Coast website, and you just go to Unearthed Arcana, and you can bring it up, and there it is. So if you want to, print them out, look at them, go over them, and see if you actually want to use them. But just remember, this is playtest material. It is not the official rules, so it cannot be used in the D&D Adventures League. All right? Now, the first of the 8 that we're going to go over is the Artificer's Initiate. You've learned some of the Artificer's inventiveness, granting you the following benefits. You learn one cantrip of your choice from the Artificer's spell list. Okay, I'm having a hard time saying that word. And you learn one first level spell from the same spell list. And intelligence is your spellcasting ability for these spells. And when you gain a level, you can actually switch one of these spells out for the same level spell. So that's pretty cool. You cast this feat's first level spell without a spell slot, and you can't do it again without taking a long rest. But, however, you can still cast that spell using a spell slot. You also gain proficiency with one type of artisan tools of your choice, and you can use that type of tool as a spell casting focus for any of your spells that uses intelligence as its spell casting ability. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, you know, this build is actually a solid build, but most of it uses its class features, and these spells just help out the class features. So I'm not too sure it's going to work exactly the way they want it to, so I think it's going to have to be played out and find out about this. The only thing is, the only ones that could probably use this is definitely the wizard, because he uses intelligence for his spellcasting ability, but also the arcane trickster uses the same thing, and so does the eldritch knight. Now, I don't know if it'll work with them, but like I said, it really does going to have to be. I'm going to reserve my judgment on this one until I actually see it played out, especially with those two. The only thing that comes to mind is I see the arcane trickster pulling out a screwdriver and going all Doctor Who. Oh, all right. The second one we're going to do is chef. Okay. Time and effort spent mastering the culinary arts has paid off. You gain the following benefits. You can increase your constitution or wisdom save throw by 1 to a maximum of 20. You gain proficiency with cooked utensils if you don't already have it. As part of a short rest, you can cook special food provided you have ingredients and cook's utensils on hand. You prepare enough of this food for a number of creatures equal to 4 plus your proficiency bonus. At the end of the short rest, any creature who eats the food and spends 1 or more hit dice to regain hit points, they get an extra 1d8 hit points. With 1 hour of work when you finish a long rest, you can cook a number of treats equal to your proficiency bonus. These treats last up to 8 hours, and a creature can use a bonus action to eat them, and it will give them temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. Okay, I keep saying proficiency bonus because it doesn't go off of the ability modifier. It goes off the proficiency bonus. Like, first through fourth level, you're going to have a +2 for a proficiency bonus. At level 5, it goes up to +3, and later on it goes up to +4. So you're using your proficiency bonus, not your ability modifier on these. Especially, I think the second part of it, where for the short rest, I think that's a really cool thing. The second one, I think it needs to be tweaked a little bit. I would say for making the treats, it would be the ability modifier plus the proficiency bonus, and then but still use the proficiency bonus on the temporary hit points, because I'm a big proponent of that 1 point does make a difference. It always makes a difference. It can be between life and death for your character, so it can make a difference. I'd like to see this played out. I'm going to reserve on this, but I think it's pretty cool the way it is, but I think it needs to be tweaked a little bit. Now the third one is Crusher. Okay, I kind of like this one. You are practicing the art of crushing your enemies, granting you the following benefits. You increase your strength or dexterity by 1 to a maximum of 20. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack that deals bludgeoning damage, you can move it back 5 feet to an unoccupied space, provided the target is no more than 1 size larger than you. When you score a critical hit that deals bludgeoning damage to a creature, attack rolls against that creature are made with advantage until the end of your next turn. Okay, this doesn't say much, but it gets to the point, and I'm going to tell you what you mean right now. Knocking you back 5 feet. Oh my God, that is great. And there is no saving throw in that. And here's another thing. It does not say with a melee weapon. There are ranged weapons that does bludgeoning damage, such as a sling. So I would say yes. If anybody wants to do different, Jeremy, then I think he needs to come out and say this. But oh my God, this is great. Now here's another thing. If you're knocking them back 5 feet, and one of your player friends is right next to you, and that knocks them back 5 feet and takes them out of range, sounds like an opportunity attack on those two. So I think this is a devastating one right here. I can see a big barbarian with a big maul just knocking everyone all over the place with this, 5 feet, 5 feet, 5 feet every turn. Okay, the fourth one we're going to talk about is the Eldritch Adept. There is a prerequisite. You have to have spellcasting or pack magic feature on this. Studying occult lore, you have unlocked Eldritch power within yourself. You learn one Eldritch invocation option of your choice from the Warlock class. If the invocation has a prerequisite, you can choose that invocation only if you are a Warlock and only if you meet the prerequisite. Whenever you gain a level, you can replace the invocation with another one from the Warlock class. Okay, 2-1. If you are a Warlock and you take this, you get an extra one. That is so cool. You can always use an extra one. But here's another thing: if someone else takes it, there is quite a few in there that don't have prerequisites, and some of them are really good. Shadow armor, Eldritch armor, I think it is. I can't remember. I screwed that one up. But another one is Devil's Sight. That's 120 feet that you can actually see in the dark, magical or non-magical. You can see through it. Well, that's pretty cool. And also there's another one that will give you that you can detect magic at will. So there's some pretty good ones. And here's another thing: you can change it every level. If you decide it's not working for you, you can actually change it. Okay. Number 5 is Fey Touched. It's probably one of my favorites, but not my most favorite one in here. But you'll see why. You can increase your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma score by 1 to a maximum of 20. You learn the Misty Step spell and one first level spell of your choice. The first level spell must be from the Divination or Enchantment School of Magic. You can cast each of these spells without expending a spell slot. Once you cast either of these spells in this way, you can't cast that spell again until after finishing a long rest. You can also cast these spells using spell slots you have of the appropriate level. The spell casting ability is the ability increased by this feat. So if you use that 1 point on your intelligence, that's what the spellcasting ability is off the intelligence, your wisdom, and or charisma. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, this is very cool. It's giving you one thing right off the bat. It's giving you actually Misty Step. Misty Step is an awesome spell in the first place. I'm telling you, it's great. It's like a get out of jail free card almost. All of a sudden you cast it as a bonus action, you move away 30 feet, or you move toward them in 30 feet. I have a halfling paladin of the ancient order, and it gives him the Misty Step, and you don't know how many times I've moved my max movement, used my bonus to do Misty Step, and I'm right there ready to attack and do a Divine Smite. Pretty cool spell. You could do this. Like I said, it gives you a free one free per your day in turn, and then you can use a spell slot to cast it again. So I think it's pretty awesome right here, and that's what I'm like about it. All right, now number 6. This has to be my most favorite feat. I think this is a game-changing feat. It's called Fighting Initiate. Prerequisite is proficiency with a martial weapon. Your martial training has helped you develop a particular style of fighting. As a result, you learn one fighting style option of your choice from the fighter class. If you already have a style, the one chosen must be different. Whenever you gain a level, you can replace this feat's fighting style with another one from the fighter class that you don't have. All right, let's get through this right here. Okay, this is extremely important. It says a martial weapon. So you know, okay, so here it comes. 1. Any class that has a martial weapon, look on the martial weapons list. Longsword, rapier, short sword. You can pick up, if you take this feat, you can pick a fighting style. Okay, that means barbarian now, if he takes this feat, can actually pick a style. Also bard, also rogue, also monk can pick this. Also a couple of the warlocks can pick this too. And here's another thing too. All dwarves, all elves, no matter what class, can pick this and choose a fighting style. No matter what class they choose, they can when they choose this, they can pick a fighting style, because they have, like, for elf, longsword, dwarf, battle axe. There it is. It's a martial weapon. Also, cleric, tempest domain, they can choose this too. Also, war domain, they can choose this too. So this is probably, I want to see this. This is amazing. And you can change it. You can change it at every level. It might not be working for you, right? So at your next level, you can say, I'm going to choose this one. Now, here's another thing, too, is that Paladin and Ranger have a limited one list. So they can take this and actually choose one that's not on their list. Pretty cool there. Fighters can actually take it, and they'll have 2 different ones right away. That's also pretty cool. So I think this is one of my favorite ones right now, out of all of them. Not saying that I don't like any, the rest of them, but I just think this is amazing, because all of a sudden now a lot of people can actually have a fighting style. A lot of classes can have fighting styles. Okay. And the next one is Gunner. All right. Some DMs are not going to use firearms in their game, but others are going to use it, and I think this has a place in it. You have a quick hand and keen eye when you're employing firearms, and granting you the following benefits. Increase your dexterity score by 1 to a maximum of 20. You gain proficiency with firearms. You need to check the firearms in the Dungeon Master's Guide, and that is on page 267 and 268. You ignore the loading property of firearms. There you go. perfect. And being within 5 feet of hostile creatures doesn't impose disadvantage on your ranged attack rolls. Okay, that's almost like going to the crossbow expert, you know. So it's got a couple of those things in there, which is pretty cool. All right, and this is my last one. Okay, Metamagic Adept. It has a prerequisite. You have to have spellcasting or pack magic feature. You've learned how to exert your will on your spells to alter their function. You gain the following benefits. You learn two metamagic options of your choice from the sorcerer class. You can use only one magic option on a spell when you cast it unless the option says otherwise. Whenever you gain a level, you can replace one of your metamagic options with another one from the sorcerer class. You gain 2 sorcery points to spend on metamagic. These points are added to any sorcery points you have from another source, but can be used only on metamagic. You regain all spent sorcery points when you finish a long rest. Okay, so this is very cool. If you're a sorcerer and you take this, that means you get 2 more metamagics, and you can change those throughout, you know, with every level that you go up. The ones you choose from your because your class features, you're stuck with those. But with these, you can change them as you go along. And it gives you 2 extra sorcery points, so you can add them to your sorcery points. Just remember, you cannot use these to spend and gain a spell slot. They can only be used for the metamagic, okay? And that's it. But think about this, a wizard picking this up. Oh my God, all of a sudden now he can cast that fireball as a bonus action and then cast a cantrip afterwards. So the sorcerer is not the only one that can do it anymore. Bard can do it. Any other class that actually has the Metamagic Adept. And that's about it. Hope I've helped you here. Remember, hit that subscribe, that like, and that bell so you don't miss anything I'm bringing to you. And hopefully that helped you out a lot. Just remember, I'm Jimmy Lee. This is Ability Check. Y'all come back now. You hear? Roll it.